things that has been going wrong that we think we have been managing rightly, but of course it's not the right way. Then so we can actually put a control measures and applicable solutions where and when necessary. Okay, so thanks so much for that. Let's go to the second slide, Value, please. Okay. All right, so the table content is talks about the introductions which I have done, the description of construction equipment and importance of a construction equipment as well, then the safety requirement for construction heavy equipment, and as well the meaning of appointed persons, competent persons, and the designated persons. Okay, and we'll also talk about the common accident using heavy duty equipment and applicable control measures where and when necessary. Please, and for everybody on this platform, this is not a thorough training. This is just a reminder training that feels majority of us here, or some of us, want to have one or two knowledge or to broaden our knowledge in these areas. If you want to go deeply into heavy equipment construction training, it is not what we can do in 1 hour, not even 24 hours. It's actually a thorough training that requires both practical and the theoretical sections. All right. So please pardon me while I still have this done to you, so I can still have the two understandings. Okay. With my introductions here, it is easy to understand why construction is so dangerous, since it involves large, heavy materials and equipment that often works at height, in holes, that is confined space, on the ground, and in highly hazardous locations. More than 100 people each year are killed by mobile heavy equipment on construction sites. Yes. This is not specifically talking about Nigeria or Africa. It is generic statistic. The main causes of death are workers on foot being struck by equipment that is backing up on or changing directions. This mostly occurs. And the operators being crushed when equipment rolls over while on a slope, or even equipment. This is why some organizations insisted, and they always have it in their policies, that you must have a two-way wedging system to avoid rollover from a slope. Okay, when equipment is loaded or unloaded from a flatbed or a low bed truck. All right, operators or mechanics being run over or caught in between when the brakes are not set. Yes, and equipment is left in gear, wheel crooks are not used, or the equipment and controls are not locked out. Okay, and the workers on foot or in the trench being crushed by falling equipment loads, backhoe buckets, or other moving parts. So all of these are just introductions about equipment, heavy duty equipment operations in a construction site. And in 1927, the General Building Contractors Association of America published its first edition of the Manual of Accident Prevention to persuade construction executives to take more interest in safety, health, and environment. To let you know that in 1927, all of these have started. They've started practicing and putting so many measures in place. And according to, I think, Hayosh, we have ASAWA 1974. Yes. There is ASAWA 1974. That is when health and safety was first practiced. ASAWA, that is Health and Safety at Workplace 1974. But before then, the General Building Contractors have brought an idea about the Manual of Prevention of Manual Accident in the Workplace, which then happened in 1927. All right, let me move on to the third slide. This while you'll be following me as I'm changing it from here as well, please. Okay, so here we talk about description of construction heavy equipment. There are various descriptions of construction's heavy equipment. Okay, heavy equipment, heavy machineries, earth movers, construction trucks, heavy trucks, engineering vehicles, construction trucks, construction equipment, heavy machines, industrial trucks, engineering trucks, or engineering equipment refers to heavy duty vehicles. I've been in classes where they asked me what is the difference between heavy duty and non-heavy duty. All right. What makes an equipment being named an heavy-duty equipment refers to the kind of activities the equipment is doing at a particular time, or what is actually designed for. All right, that is why they named them heavy-duty equipment. There was a section, I think I was in a class where a student asked me, is a car also heavy-duty equipment? The answer to that question as at then was yes, a car is also heavy-duty equipment when you are using it according to the limitations as required by the OEM, that is original equipment manufacturers. Okay, so but the ones that people always focus their attention on are the ones we use basically on construction site, because it's prone it requires a whole lot of safety measures to be put in place. And at the same time, in case of any malfunctions, it always leads to unwanted situations. Let me move on. So I said it refers to heavy-duty vehicles specially designed to execute various construction tasks. Yes, most frequently involving earthworks or other large construction tasks, e.g. for road projects, for mega buildings, refineries, and etc. And I have here major 5 components of heavy equipment. Okay, what makes an equipment defined as equipment as follows? The implement. The implement actually means what the machine is designed for, what is meant to be done. That is the implementation. What the equipment is designed for, what is meant to be done, area where it's to be used. That is what we refer to as the implement. The traction. The traction is considered as the propelling, the moving forward, backward, the lowering and the lifting, the skidding, and the braking system and the lights. That is where the tractions lies below. Then the structure. The structure simply means the integrity. The integrity and the components that is formed to make the equipment heavy-duty equipment. That is the structure. Is it smaller? Is it bigger? Is it longer? Is it shorter? Is it designed to enter a confined space? Is it designed to work in a free environment? That is for the structures. Then the powertrain. The powertrain involves the areas, the types of power supply to that equipment. Is it diesel supply? Is it electrically powered? Is it diesel powered? Is it propane powered? We have some equipment that are actually propane powered as well, which is gas. So the powertrain means the sources of power into that equipment so as to be able to accomplish what is actually designed for. Then the controls and the informations. Under the controls and the information is where we have the system, where we have what is the commands, what's the buttons to be used, the joysticks, the steering system, and other knobs, other emergency buttons, and the under controls and information is where we have the manuals as well, the load media indices, especially for crane and other lifting equipment as well. We have all of this one under controls and informations. So all of these factors that I explained here, which is the implement, the traction, the structure, the powertrain, and the controls information makes an equipment heavy duty. You now agree with me when I mentioned earlier that car can also be defined as heavy duty equipment, depends on where and when you want to use it. Car also consists of implementation. Car also consists of traction, which is the braking system. The structure of car is also very, very important. The powertrain is also very important, also featured in the car, and the controls and the information. So that is for the description of equipment. Let me move on. The 5th slide. Okay, so here we have different diagrams of all lifting equipment. Not all of them, some basic one, and there's some equipment actually designed, especially the ones that we use in our country here in Nigeria, is designed for our weather. That is why you go to some areas, some countries in the Europe, and the kind of equipment you are seeing there is actually looking the same, but the attraction is quite different from what we have in the country here. All right. I've been to a workplace where I saw a forklift was actually using the crawler lattice. Yes, a forklift was designed to have a crawler. A forklift was designed to have a cushion tire, which means they can actually operate that forklift on a tile floor without having any impact on the ground surfaces. So here we see forestry buckets. We see the bucket trucks. This one is using for maintenance and the construction of street lights. We also have the wood choppers. We have construction equipment. We can see excavators here. We have different types of excavators. We have the crawler lattice excavators. We have rubber tire excavators. We have trench excavators. We have swamp boogies. All of these are under excavators. We have trailers that is used for conveying of material from one place to another. We also have digest trucks, derricks. Digest derricks digger derricks are meant for drilling activities. Digger derricks are meant for drilling activities, also in construction equipment. We also have forklifts, different type of forklifts, maybe the electrical, the diesel, the propane, and the likes. We have dump trucks, which is used to convey sound and other materials from one place to another in the construction site. We have paving equipment for compactors. We have trenchers and the likes. We have so many of them and different activities they're actually designed for. We have payloaders, we have front loaders and back loaders. We have some that are dual operations. We have some that are single operations, different equipment, different design, different structures, different tractions, and the requirement for the kind of different operators as well. So that is for that. Let me move on. Okay, so we were talking about the importance of construction heavy equipment here. What are the importance of construction heavy equipment? Majority of us see that whenever we are in the construction site, we see heavy equipment being packed and being operated by people that are designed to operate, although some of them are not actually approved to operate, but they actually, one way or the other, still doing it according to how they feel they can have access to it, which majorly causes part of the contributory factors to some accidents in the workplace. Heavy equipment helps, while you please change that slide, please, thank you. Heavy equipment helps complete heavy-duty tasks in the easiest way with minimized risk. Yes. The major reason why in 1927, the Builders Association of America bring about the prevention of heavy equipment in the workplace and the structure is to ensure that we minimize the risk of heavy tasks, which can be referred to as manual handling. Yes, because before people uses their hand to carry blocks from one place to another. They still do that in Nigeria here, but as practiced and instructed under LOLA regulations, that is lifting operation and lifting regulation 1998, December 5. Every workplaces must have a design structures, a proper assessment that has been put in place to ensure that the job designed will be accomplished with no accident. Okay, so let me just read on. It reduces the need for manual labor, cranes, earth-moving machineries, generators. Generator is also part of heavy-duty equipment. Yes, it's an heavy-duty plant too. So generators, bulldozers, soil stabilizers, construction hoist, and backhoe loaders all fall under the heavy equipment categories. Examples are excavators. Yes, I mentioned it earlier. Graders, the compactors, soil compactors. We have the forklift. We have MELPs. MELPs is mobile elevated working platforms, which could be scissors lifts, telehandlers, cherry pickers, and all sorts of man lifts as well are categorized under MELPs. We have the payloaders for carrying of sand from one place to another. They also use it for demobilization. When they want to demolish a building, a payloader is also being used to do that based on risk assessment carried out. We also have dumpers, the cranes, elevated transporters. Yes, elevated transporter is an heavy-duty equipment. It is majorly used in the marine sectors. They use it in the conveying of heavy containers from location to another. Elevated transporter has the capacity to take about 20 or more than containers, 20-feet containers at a go. I think elevated transporter, some of them has about 100 tires, if not more than that, and it is being operated by competent and authorized persons only. They will also have bulldozers, which we are always very, very familiar with. Okay, let me move on. So now the safety requirement for construction heavy equipment. What are the safety requirements for construction heavy equipment? Are we all aware of the safety requirements? Yes, even if we are aware of the safety requirement as being practiced, are we following it? Is it well implemented? Are we doing the right thing at the right time? This is what we need to know. According to Nigerian Factories Act 2004 as amended, yes, Nigerian Factories Act 2004 as amended, I refer you to section 22, section 23, 24, 25, 26, and 27. basically talks about heavy-duty equipment. You can look at these sections and see how it is related to the kind of work you are doing. Also, you can also move on to lifting operation and lifting equipment regulation, which is LOLA 1998, and have it has so many sections.
The slide is not changing. Oh, the slides are not moving. The slides are not moving. Sorry, sir.
Oh, okay. So sorry about that. Please, Walu, can you control that from your hand?
You are in safety requirement for.
Yes.
Oh, we have what it is correct. Maybe his network is bad.
So
Okay.
what is showing on this screen? What are you seeing on the screen now?
It is showing safety.
What I'm seeing from this end.
Please please allow the participant to speak. Mr. Funcho, what are you seeing on the screen now?
With what I have on the screen, sir, the safety requirement for construction heavy equipment is actually where I am, and I can see that on the screen as well.
Okay, so sir, what can you see on the screen from your side?
Safety requirement for construction heavy equipment.
Okay.
Okay.
So that
is what we have here now. That's what we have here. Maybe the person should try and check his network.
It's okay.
That is the facilitator.
But I'm still at lifting operation and lifting equipment regulation, LORA. He talked about it long ago, and that is where we are up to now. Is that where we're supposed to be?
Okay.
Yes.
Is that not where we are?
Yes.
Can I speak, please?
Go ahead, sir.
Go ahead, sir.
All right, thank you so much. We are actually talking about lifting operations and lifting equipment regulations under safety requirement for construction heavy equipment. Are we all together right now?
Yes.
All right, thanks so much. So let me recap from the beginning. I talked about the Nigerian Factories Act 2004, section 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27. There was a question sometimes in a class with a company with names we told. They asked me, do we even have any regulations in the country concerning health and safety? Do we even have any regulations concerning heavy equipment, heavy duty equipment and thereabouts in the country? I said yes. The answer is yes. The only thing that happens to us, especially in our country here, is we are always very, very reactive. That is you can only see people coming out whenever an accident or incident occur, or probably there was a report of a dangerous occurrence in a workplace. The Factories Act is actually very, very active, and they are everywhere in the country, in every state. I can confirm that to you, but you may not be seeing them as often because I won't say they are reactive in their activities or in their operations, but when incidents are reported to them and they actually take actions, it majorly look as if is a reactive measures to people that reported those incidents. Unlike in the Europe, where LOLA is well practiced and acceptable, in every workplaces, most of the workplaces have cameras that recorded everything that is happening in the workplace. Even if you are not reporting to the authority, they already knew what has happened in your workplace. So I'm correct. I'm just beginning to everyone's notification here that Factories Act 2004 as amended is very, very active and recognized by the federal government of Nigeria, even outside Nigeria as well. So talking about the lifting operations and lifting equipment regulations, then that is LOLA 1998. We have so many sections that talks about the construction of heavy equipment. Then Occupational Health and Safety Administration, that is OSHA, heavy equipment regulation. You can also get so many facts about heavy equipment regulation in OSHA, right? Then Occupational Health and Safety Act, that is in South Africa. Yes, they have their own regulation in South Africa as well. That's also acceptable by other neighboring countries and even in the Europe as well. Yes, and the various workplace, reasonably practicable workplace policies and the standard. I put this one because various workplace standards and what they do, but we can only ensure that what a workplace is being practiced are reasonably practicable. What is reasonably practicable? A method, a situation, a process, a control, a measure that you can imbibe to improvise your own system. That is the meaning of reasonably practicable. But some people get it mixed up and they mix it up with other definitions. And at the end of the day, by the time they are designing their workplace policies and standards, they are going outside the box. not even inside the box at all. So various workplace standards, but it must be reasonably practicable. How can it be reasonably practicable? That is, if you have extracted some facts from all of these aforementioned regulations, which is the Factories Act, lifting operations, OSHA, and South Africa, and so many of them like that, then it makes it reasonably practicable for you to now imbibe on. Okay, I'm moving to the next slide. Waliu, please. Okay, here I have the slide I have here now is appointed person, competent person, and the designated person. Waliu, please change the slide, please. Thank you so much. Appointed person, competent person, and the designated person. This it's actually very, very simple, but most time we don't even get it. We get it mixed up with the way we analyze it and define it. Who is an appointed person? Who is a competent person? And who is a designated person? It is a question, but I will clarify with my level of experience on projects and with the work I do and so far. An appointed person is someone who is in charge of equipment activities at workplace based on competence. That is it. It must be based on competence. I've been to several workplaces for audit and safety equipment inspection. And when I request for the appointed person is just a cleaner. They will be sending a cleaner and somebody that is just familiar with operations to come and be an appointed person. By the time you are asking some questions and you are trying to get some concept from that person, the answer is always zero. An appointed person must be based on competence. This includes looking after the equipment. One, ensuring the safe facilities and quality emergency services. That is in case of emergencies and the accident. Now, another question from that end is, must appointed person be the one to be calling emergency services? What about the first aiders in the workplace? What about the safety marshals? This is where team working and team bonding relies. If they are not working together as a teamwork, then in the environment, the safety environment will not be ascertained. So if there's a teamwork in an environment, all the roles and responsibility cross across every other personnel in that workplace. Okay. And I said a workplace can have more than one appointed person. Yes, based on the workforce and stipulated daily activities ongoing simultaneously. Yes, I was in a project some 8 years ago in an oil and gas project where we have about 600 workers in the workplace. A lot of construction safety equipment there. So we have so many appointed persons and a competent person, inspectors that come for often checks to ensure that the safety of that place is still zero tolerance to accident. Okay, so I move on to competent person. Who is a competent person? A competent person is someone who has sufficient training and experience or knowledge and other qualities that allows them to assist you properly. Yes, a competent person must be your guide. You must be able to rely on a competent person. When they say somebody is competent, it means you must be able to have some backup from that person. But if the answer is no, that means the person is not competent. All right. A competent person must be a researcher. A competent person must one way or the other be somebody that always gets to know facts. Okay. Then I continue that the level of competence required will depend on the complexity of help required. Now, a competent person must comprise 4 good characteristics. It used to be 4, but with the level of research on site and my level getting more knowledge in the workplace activities, I added 1, making it 5. So it is now KATE-B. It used to be KATE. Let me define it. It's knowledge. The A is ability. The T is training. The E is experience. And the P is practicing. Let me analyze it. For you to be a competent person, you must have the ability to learn. You must have the knowledge. You must be able to have knowledge. That is, the person must be sane. A sane person will have knowledge. Then you move on to ability. That is innate power, innate eagerness for you to be able to learn and adjust to new development. That is ability, and that makes you a competent person. That is why under ability, moving from one workplace to another workplace comes into that. You can be transferred from Port Harcourt to Abuja to go and work. You will get another working experience again in Abuja. It could be from the weather, it could be from the people you are meeting, and the kind of the language is also part of working experience. All right, then I move on to training. You must get training. If you are not trained, you will not know what is happening. If you are trained, you'll be getting some facts and you'll be getting some informations that will be added to what you have before. Then the experience. This is what money cannot buy. All right. You can use money to buy training. Yes, you can purchase training with money. You can actually send money to some people to get the certifications. That is why personally, I don't rely on people that always submit certificates. I don't, people I have worked with, we get it as a matter of fact. I like to work with people with a field experience. I check you based on what you can do on the field before bringing you to come and show me what you have in the Cambridge University of Cambridge or thereabout. So experience is not what you can use money to buy. You have to be involved. If you are not involved, you cannot get the experience. It is not possible. That is why sometimes when they want to rate people from the HR department concerning some trainings, they ask them that, where have you worked before? What is the distance between your house to that workplace? They want to check if you can wake up early in the morning and get to workplace without getting late. They want to see how you can manage aggression. That is part of experience. Then practicing. If you have worked 10 years ago, you have the experience and you stopped the work 10 years ago. The experience you had as at that 10 years stopped 10 years ago. If you are still working, if you cannot compare yourself with somebody that stopped work 10 years ago and the person that continue working till now, you don't have the same experience again. You are only familiar with the experience. But when we want to talk about justifications, you and the other person are not the same. You have been having your experience, but along the line, you stop that. So that is practicing makes you more perfect and you become more confident and confident. That is for competent person. And then for a designated person is an individual specifically assigned or approved by the employer to perform a certain type of duty or be at a specific location at a work site. The designation implies that the person has been chosen to undertake tasks or responsibility requiring specific knowledge or skills. A designated person must acquire trainings as well, adequately required to ensure a safe place and a safe system of work at all times. Now, the question I'll be expecting everybody to ask me in the house later on is, where can we categorize an equipment operators under this? Is an equipment operator going to be an appointed person? Is it going to be a competent person? Is it going to be a designated person? I'll be waiting for that questions. All right, let me move on. Can you please change the slide? Okay, so we're looking at a common accident using heavy-duty equipment. What are the common accidents when you are using heavy-duty equipment on site? We have a whole lot of accidents. We have so many contributory factors. We have so many immediate factors. We have the root causes and thereabout. But we'll just pick some because of our time. Getting pinned against the wall or any stationary object by heavy equipment. This mostly occur in a workplace as a result of poor traffic controls in that workplace. This happens a lot. First, failing to provide workers with the required personal protective equipment. As we all agreed here, fellow comrades, that PPE is our last resort in a hierarchy of control. But we still, till the moment, some employers still don't take it for granted to say that what is PPE to be said. But it is your safe line of defense. Yes, it is your line of defense as an operator or as a designated, competent, and assigned person on that side. Lack of training on how to assemble, disassemble, repair, and operate heavy equipment. Yes, this one requires a whole lot. It is not everybody that can assemble a payloader. That is why the whole EM, the original equipment manufacturers, always have their own representative that will be in charge of the assembly and disassembly in case when need arises. Then the fourth one is failing to provide for protection and rollover protection system of workers. That is especially when there's a workplace where they have a slope or a ramps. When there's an operation going on the ramps on the slope, it is always occur. And there are so many control measures to be put in place when equipment is being operated on a slope or a ramp. Okay. Then failing to assemble and install heavy equipment properly. Yes, that is when you have a poor technician Some people, they brought in some equipment to the country, but just because they cannot afford a representative from CAT or Mitsubishi, they have to use a local technician to come and do the assembly. And at the end of the day, they will be looking at the manuals and they will not go through the right procedure. And along the line, the equipment may start work truly, but along the line, something may just happen on site because everybody will have total reliability on that equipment at that time. So eyes will not be on it, and accident may actually happen. And mind you, when accident of equipment occur, there's always 90% of chances of taking the life. 90% chances of taking the life. That is why I always explain to people that equipment operation, it is a game of life and death. Even sometimes we need to ensure that the accident will not happen at all. Because sometimes some people will just remain useless for the rest of their life because of a little mistake that happens as a result of malfunctioning of an equipment in a workplace, right? Improper loading and unloading procedures, that is where risk assessment and method statement comes in. Then I talked about failing to follow proper LOTOTO. LOTOTO, it's now log out, tag out, and try out protocols. If it's not followed, there's some equipment that actually needed LOTOTO to be followed to avoid problems. This happened in a workplace sometimes some years ago. There was an operator. He was one of the most experienced operators on that site. He had about 15, 12 years experience. So on this fateful day, he came to site to come and remove the particles of granite from the stationary cement pump. Okay, so he forgot that he already powered the stationary cement pump. By virtue of bringing out the granite, the hydraulic system of the equipment run faster as more than expected and chop off about 4 fingers from that hand, a right hand to be precise. So what is he going to do with the rest of his life with the right hand? Okay, so that is just something that has happened as a result of negligence and ignorance. Okay, lack of proper communication between heavy equipment operators and other workers on the site. Then poor planned repair and the maintenance, BPRM, poor planned repair and the maintenance. Some people, it's only when equipment started draining or leaking oils that you will know that it's due for servicing. They don't have the records on ground. They only feel that they can continue using it or trying to manage costs. I don't support people that always try to manage costs when they are using heavy duty equipment on site. Because when something happened, if it doesn't take the life, then there will be damages to the properties at large. Okay, human error as a result of practical jokes and the horseplay. Yes, so many practical jokes and horseplay. This one happens a lot. In trainings that I've conducted so far, I always like to pick out people that have 15 years experience in operations or 20 years. When I ask them some critical and practical questions, the answer I got from them always goes to horseplaying, because they have so much confidence that they have been doing it and they can actually do it without even following the processes. And at the end of the day, sometimes it is with research. The most experienced persons, especially the operators on site, are the ones that always cause accidents because the level of their experience. They feel they have so many confidence and the reliability, and they can do everything since they have been doing it for a very long time. That is for human error as a result of practical jokes. Okay, thanks so much. Let me move on to the last slide. Please let me to change the slide. Applicable control measures. When there are problems, there must be solutions. When there are problems without solutions, that means I don't see that as a problem, or I categorize that as a problem that can never be solved. And the problem must be able to have solutions. So there are so many applicable control measures, but we'll just pick few of them here because of our time. Okay, risk assessment and method statement that covers 3 aspects. I call it 3 P's, which is the plant, the process, and the people. The risk assessment must be able to cover the plants. That is the environment where the work is to be done. The process, how is the work going to be done? This involves the operator, who is going to be in charge, who is the competent person, who is the supervisor, who is the assessor. That is for the process. For the people, who are the pedestrians, who are the laborers, who are the ones doing the missing job, who are the ones working simultaneously. So the risk assessment must be able to cover the 3, and it still goes more than that. Then there must be a daily pre-use checks, okay? A daily pre-use checks helps a lot for us to do observations and identification of errors. Then equipment must be used for fit for purpose use only. Yes. fit for purpose use only. I always go to some workplace where they will be using an equipment of 4 tons to tow another equipment of about 5 tons. They don't have an idea of it. That they call it coupling system. That coupling system, the elongation with your core between the coupling accessory, which is the slings or the chain. When elongation occurs at the edge of the tipping axis, once it breaks off, the tip of the chain can break someone's head, can cause an accident in the workplace. So equipment must be used for the purpose being designed for only. Adequate training and retraining is also required as a control measures. Effective communication is very, very important and is very, very paramount. Jamil, to be precise. A teamwork, yes, I mentioned teamwork. So the fact that you are the engineer in charge, you need to also build a teamwork with your colleagues and team so that you'll be able to achieve a zero tolerance to accident. Okay, acquiring standard heavy equipment from an OEM. All the OEM, original equipment manufacturers, have their manuals stated where they have limitations, classifications, anti-categories, and of functionalities and operational checks of all equipment. But most of us don't like reading about it. Once you bring a payloader to site, they want to jump into it that they know how to operate it without going through the manuals. It happens with us also when we buy a car as well. All cars have their manuals. Majority of us don't even look at the manuals. We just enter into the car and start driving. It's only the day something happened, they will now start referring to the manual again. So we need to work on the standard by the OEM. Workplace safety and process audits, this should be done as well. You can invite a third party to come and do audit for you to avoid compromise. Because if you are doing internal audit in a workplace, there will always be room for compromise one way or the other. Okay, workplace safety, I said about that. Then hazard spotting exercises should be done. Then workplace inductions must be done for visitors, inexperienced, and etc. Then planned preventive maintenance culture must be put in place. PPM, planned preventive maintenance culture, must be put in place. And this can always be achievable when you have a trained and a competent technician to take charge of the repairs and maintenance of all equipment. I think, thanks so much. I've come to the end of this. So I will be opening this floor for any question within the minutes, so we can just see if you have any question with what I've said so far, it's all open to you. Thanks so much, Wali. Go ahead.
Thank you so much, Mr. Funshaw. That was well detailed. Pinpointing the most important facts, the most important points, and giving a summary of what construction safety with respect to heavy-duty equipment is all about. Thank you so much for the beautiful breakdown. Thank you for the wonderful presentation. We really appreciate you. We have a couple of, I think we have before we open the floor for questioning from the group, from everybody, we have a question here being asked. They said, is a designated person the same as an authorized person? Same as an authorized person.
Sorry, I missed. Can you just repeat that, please? Hello? Hello?
Hello, sir. Hello, sir.
Hello?
Can you hear me?
I can hear
Sorry,
both of you.
I'm not hearing him, please. I don't know.
Okay. Someone can hear both of us.
Yes, I can hear.
Is an authorized person same as a designated person?
Okay, that's the question, right? Okay.
Yes, sir.
Is that the only question, please?
No, we see, I think we have someone raising up his hand, but before we call on those raising up their hand, let us look at the question. I think that's the question for now. Then why is reference not made to lifting and allied safety regulation? Like we said, this is not a full training. So if you are aware of lifting and line, you can also mention it. You can mention all the rule regulations. So the person is asking that why is reference not made to lifting and line safety regulation in your presentation?
All right. Okay, thanks so much. Thanks so much. Let me admit the questions and put justifications in a short time. As for authorized person depends on the site, on the workplace practices and the policies. Authorized persons are not really designated persons, all right? I will confirm that to you. An authorized person could be is majorly from the employer, all right? Authorized to carry out some specific tasks, okay? Carry out some specific on behalf of the management. An authorized person can sign a equipment permit to work. Yes. An authorized person can give a justification to what is happening in that operations. This is why an authorized person must also be a competent person. Okay, it's just like a form of a motorboy and a bus motorboy and the driver. Most time, the motorboy must be able to drive the car as well or drive the truck. So that in case of any little, he can be able to act on behalf of his boss. That is what they mean by authorized person. He has been authorized. And you can only be authorized based on checks on you. That is on competence to be sure that we can rely on you. Okay, that is being an authorized person. For a designated person, you are designated to a specific work area. You are designated to a specific area to cover. You are designated for a particular task in time. An authorized person can take over a whole task, while a designated person is only designed for some particular task stipulated in the modus operandi of the workplace. Okay, and as regards the second question asking why is reference not made to lifting and allied safety equipment, thanks so much for Wali for making a clarification to that. This is just a brief sections that we need to enlighten ourselves and add more knowledge. This is not a training to be precise, it's just a brief sections. If you want to have full knowledge and depth researches about equipment operations and thereabouts, it is not even 24 hours. Or sometimes according to standard, there are some that you can even go for a month for you to be able to have total full knowledge about it. So if I want to keep making references, it will take a lot of our time. We have so many references, like I said. So thanks so much for that. So for people that are raising their hands, can we just hear from them so I can manage the time? Thank you.
Mr. Oluwaseun, please, you can omit yourself, sir.
All right, thank you very much, our facilitator and Mr. Waliu. The question I want to ask is something that's been on my mind for quite some time now. I noticed that what is talking? Okay, I noticed that we have this standard practice when we have inclement weather condition. You know, we stop all lifting operations and everybody leaves the site. But you see, sometimes the excavator operator, they are still there because they feel they're inside the cabin and they continue to, you know, do their excavation. So what is it safe for a crawler excavator operator to be inside the boots of the equipment during lightning threats?
Okay.
Did you get me, sir?
So much for that question. Thanks so much. Any other questions again?
Mr. Okafor, please kindly unmute yourself, sir.
Okay, good evening, everybody.
Okay.
Good evening.
Mr. Funjo, greetings to you, sir.
Thanks so much, sir.
Yeah. This thing I'm about to say has to do with I guess Mr. Funjo, you remember me from Henkel.
Okay, I may not. So sorry, but you can go ahead, sir. Thanks so much.
You came to train some of my operators some time ago, forklift operators.
Oh, okay.
So
Okay.
I want to, from Henkel. Yeah, I was the guy that I want to point out I think last week. So the forklift. Someone came to report that the battery propagation, we took it to the plant manager, and then the plant manager was like, this person that is reporting this thing, he actually gave that person an express instruction not to touch that particular forklift. So he was surprised why the guy would know about that certain forklift, because he has already been designated or authorized to use only one particular forklift. Man, this I'm telling you was very serious that he gave that guy 1 month suspension. He said he doesn't want to see him in the plant till September 1. Now, my issue is all of them are all forklift operators, but then I need that clarification properly on designated and authorized. Now, somebody has been assigned to say, okay, I know all of them are competent based on training, certifications, and all those things and experience. But then there are those that are assigned to designated forklifts for designated areas. And then somebody that feels he's also trained, is also competent, now gives himself the authority to go and drive another forklift. And I guess that was where he ran into problems. So I just wanted to point out that for me, I feel authorized person is the person that, like you explained, is the person that has had the authority from maybe his boss or supervisor to operate the forklift part-time. But I also feel that it is also the same as a designated person. That is where I'm trying to clarify. If I'm wrong, please kindly enlighten me more. Thank you so much, sir.
All right, thanks so much for that. Do we also have any other questions so I can put it down and put clarifications at once? Thanks so much. Okay, in the absence of no other questions, anybody?
I'm sorry, I have one more if I can go ahead.
Okay, please go ahead, sir. Thanks so much. Your name, please.
Steve Oluwaseun, the first person.
Okay, thanks so much, Mr. Oluwaseun.
All right, sir. So, thank you, sir. So, what processes? There's some excavators that are designed with lifting heights. So, what processes do they have to go through to certify those lifting height and also rate the safe working load of that excavator for lifting routine lifts on the site? I don't know if you got me, sir.
Okay, excavators for lifting.
Yes, sir.
Hello, Mr. Sean, can you hear me, please?
I'm with you, sir. Yes, sir.
You're talking about using excavators for lifting, right?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay, I think your network is actually bad from your end. Okay, let me just...
Okay, sorry, before you respond, let me also, I drop a question on the chat box, but I think I can also ask it since it has not been picked.
Okay, sir.
Okay, so my question is on the...
Your name, sir?
Okay, I'm Christopher.
Okay, Mr. Christopher, thanks so much.
Yes, sir. So my question is around the heavy equipment operators and the class of license that they are supposed to use. So is it proper for heavy equipment operators, maybe like a crane operator, to use a regular driver's license like somebody that is driving maybe a car to operate a crane?
All right, thanks so much, sir. Thanks so much, Mr. Christopher, for the questions and for other questions. So let me start one after the other so that we can be able to hear ourselves very well. Okay, Mr. Ashim talked about weather conditions as regard excavation operation on site. Okay, there is something I mentioned reasonably practicable while talking to you about the slide from the slide. That's something you can actually practice, something you can imbibe, something you can copy, something you can imitate, as far as low as a lab, okay? That is very, very safe for your own practice. That is reasonably practicable. So when you're talking about weather condition using the excavation operation, there's a difference between heavy rain and drizzling. I'll clarify that to you. There's a difference between heavy rain and ordinary rain. When it's raining, you are expecting the rain to, it's raining, it may rain for, let me say, 10 minutes, and you're expecting the rain to just stop. That one is not leading to flood yet, okay? That one is rain. It can also rain for 20 minutes, not leading to flood. Then when you say heavy rain, that means it can rain for about 6 to 10 hours, as we have in last 2 months. We keep raining every day. There's a risk assessment for those 2 areas I mentioned. Then when it's drizzling, now, drizzling is the rain is coming down, but it has not fully started raining. It has not fully started raining. It's just starting to rain. Okay. Now, the question is this: you know, when they want to do excavation work, excavation is actually to dig the floor. Okay. Sometimes you can even have to bring a tank to come and wet the floor before you started excavation. I have seen that in some workplaces, that they have to waterize the whole area first. Even sometimes they have to do drainages to the area they want to excavate it, so that the ground surface will be a little softer before the excavation actually started work. Now, in that area, they needed the surface to be wet. Okay. Now, and when it's drizzling, as to be practicable. Only that if we allow some people to take some advantages or some advice, and they have to implement it in their own workplaces, they take advantage of it, and they are not looking at the other directions. All right. I can confirm to you that when it's drizzling, and you already told all operators, all other individuals and workers on site to evacuate the area, there's nothing stopping the excavator operator, especially when it's operating on a crawler lattice excavator, not the rubber tire. A crawler lattice excavator cannot topple. It's so difficult for a crawler lattice excavator to topple. It is easier as a result of traction for a rubber tire excavator to topple when it's raining. So if an operator is using that one, in fact, it's the best advantage time for him to do his job in his cubicle to ensure that he actually achieves what he needs to do at that time. So that is, but when you are explaining this, there's a difference between the safety department and the project department. I work in the safety department for a very long time. I work in the project department as well. So I know what to talk about the conflict of interest, and I know the politics and the policy, the politics. I mentioned the politics of workplace. There's also politics existing in the workplace, and there's also policy. If you are not able to manage it very well, you become an enemy to the safety department. And at the same time, the safety department becomes an enemy to you, because all of us must agree here that project is all about meeting of a target. What you have done for the day is what they needed in project. Now, safety is the job they have done for that day. Are you sure people were not injured? Safety is all about ensuring everything is okay. Project is all about ensuring that we meet our target. If you are not able to work around these two, then you started creating workplace enemies and thereabouts. So it's only when you have an alignment and the proper communication system to know that when it is drizzling, excavators, especially crawler lattice, can still operate. But it is so difficult to explain this to the safety department, except you don't know how to table that discussions. However, there are some workplaces in the oil and gas, provided it's drizzling, rainy, or heavy rain, or the weather changes, all work must stop. In that one, they are not majorly after meeting targets only. They are also very concerned about the safety of people working. So that has already categorized and covers virtually all operations. That is why in the oil and gas, they can come to work on Monday and they will not work for the whole day. They can come on Tuesday, they will not work for the whole day, and they will get paid at the end of the month. But if you are coming to the manufacturing sectors where a production line must be commissioned in another 2 months' time, the project managers, the team lead, all of them are coming from abroad to come and commission the project. They will have to extend the work even to be done overnight. I've been to a place where an excavator was working in the middle of the night. And when we look at everywhere, they say it was not raining, there was a lot of illumination in that place. Can the excavator work? At the end of the day, they said they have done their risk assessment and everything is fine. So far it's reasonably practicable, you can actually work on it. So I'll be able to meet up with the target. That is for the weather condition. And I made specifically on the color lattice.
Hello. So thank you for clarifying between reality and the ideal case. So what in the case when it is, because the person said that he's actually concerned about lightning risk. That is when there is heavy rain, because you've only mentioned about light rain and drizzling. When there is heavy rain for crawler excavator, can the person work? Can the excavator keep operating? And can the person remain in his equipment booth during lightning?
No.
No.
Thank you so much, Mr. Waliu. No is the answer. Thanks so much for that. I clarified the difference between rain, drizzling, and heavy rain. When the rain is heavy, the excavator operator must be able to, even by the time you see the rain coming down and it's continued, you have to park your machine, use all the controls, and dismount from that machine immediately. The causes of lightning when excavating with a crawler lattice is because of unknown buried services. There are some unknown buried services that have been there for donkey years that you are not aware of. Although you must have done the soil tests, and the surveyors must have done their own thing, but there are some that are still not known. So lightning is very, very, very severe, and it is not allowed. Even if it's not even raining and it started lightning, then the excavators must stop operation. It's not negotiable for lightning case. All right, I clarify that. Thanks so much. Then as for the second question from my my boss from Henkel, talking about operators that is claiming to be a designated person, authorized person, assigned person, or whatsoever, and they asked to do something. I think I tried to get the clarification, the clarity of that question. What happened there is a lack of, they call that one insubordination at work. I will clarify that to you as insubordination. He was told that this is a particular machine to be operated on site. That is fine. Boss remains the boss. Either is he taller, is he younger, or is a youth copper. It doesn't matter. To the fact they assigned him and they already stated that it's your boss, they must give that respect and give that further work with that further instruction. He is an assigned person on site. He's an operator on site. Acceptable. All right. Where was it written that he must not operate this machine, except it was actually communicated in letter, in writing, to be sorry. If it's verbal, you need to walk around the last instruction from your superior, from your team manager, from your line manager, or from your supervisor. To the fact that you have donkey years experience, you must work with the last line of instruction. Sir, I'm going to start that machine now. The machine you assigned me to be using is not going to work effectively. Can I continue to go and work with that one that we packed? That is the question. If he said yes, go ahead. If he said no, no. Because if anything happens, you agree with me that in a workplace, if an accident occurs, even people that are on leave at that time, they will also send a mail to them. They will put them in the copy of the mail when the accident investigation is about to start. This is to know how the workers or the victim have been behaving in the recent time. I give an example of what happened in the workplace that an operator that with 15 years experience had his 4 fingers cut off from the right hand. I remembered the permit to work that we used 3 years before that time were collected. They requested, the auditor requested, the accident investigator, they requested for the permit to work of 2 years before that incident. I remember we slept on that site for about 3 days to ensure we got that permit. And what do you think we are trying to get? They want to know the number of time he has been writing his name in the toolbox talk. That is it. So in case of accident investigation, anybody will be involved. Even if you have left the workplace 3 months ago, they can still send a mail to you. They have a personal discussion with you on the phone to get some parts. And why are employers doing this? To mitigate the cost of compensation. That is just it. They have to mitigate the cost of compensation so they can have something to say in the court of law. Okay. So for him, for that authorized person, appointed person, or whatsoever, I would say that he worked outside the box, and outside the workplace policies and instruction from the line manager. So giving him a month of suspension is good to go. That is fine. All right. So, and for the third one, excavator for lifting. I don't know why they will be using excavator for lifting. An excavator is not a mobile elevator working platform, all right? It is, I said it earlier that equipment must be used for purpose only. Excavator is meant to excavate, and they also use it for demolition sometimes. It can be used for demolition, especially when they want to bring out some parts. And even when you are using excavation for demolition, it is not that the excavator will be under the place to be demolished. It must be outside. So that is your a risk assessment must be done about that. All right. So excavator for lifting, well, I'm not in support of that. I can still say excavator can be used to couple one equipment from one place to another because it's actually very, very heavy with the tonnage. Okay, then for the fourth one, what Mr. Christopher has, the class of licenses for operators. Yes, as for this class of licenses for operators, the Federal Road Safety required that all operators of heavy-duty equipment, long vehicle must have minimum of Class H. All right, Class H is required for long vehicle and heavy-duty equipment. That is a requirement. Okay. And when you have class H, it covers you driving a car as well. It means when they see class A, they already knew that you must be doing a work that requires that. But you get it funny that some of our road safety officers on the road, when they even look at your license, they were not well trained. They don't even know the class you belong. They just want to look at maybe your tire is expired or not. But by standard, class H is required for heavy duty equipment as well. So that is for Mr. Christopher. I think any other questions again? Hello, are we together? Mr. Waliu, are you still there?
The point that holds that if the speed is over 20 kilometers per hour, work at height and lifting equipment should be stopped.
I'm not getting that question, please. Can you repeat?
It's more like a contribution. That I think there is also a point that holds that if the wind speed is over 20 kilometers per hour, for work at height and lifting equipment should be stopped.
Yes, you're actually right. Yes, that is for lifting equipment. Lifting equipment is not a lifting, especially when it happens with the wind. So with what the person said, it's actually very right. And I would say to you, lifting equipment is still different from other workplace equipment. All right. A dumper truck is not a lifting equipment. All right. And an excavator is not a lifting equipment. A backhoe is not a lifting equipment. But some people use it to do lifting operations. I've been to a place where they use a backhoe to lift, they put somebody in the bucket of a backhoe to take the person to a night. It's an unsafe act. It is an unsafe act. It is not designed for that. So for the person that gave that submission, it is actually acceptable. Thanks so much for that as well. Any further questions again?
Okay, did you just talk about this now, where they said by design some excavators is that acceptable? Said.
I didn't get that question. By design, some excavators can what?
Can lift. That some excavators are designed to lift by design.
Okay, probably the person is actually referring to telehandlers. Okay, telehandlers is a lifting equipment looking like an excavator sometimes. A telehandler is a type of a forklift with a long stationary forks and a bucket sometimes. So the person may be referring to a telehandler. Okay.
So on a general note, excavator are there some excavators that are designed to lift?
That's what I'm saying. You know, there are some excavators. You know, let me explain some things to you. This equipment sometimes they remove what we call some attachments. They can remove an attachment and put another attachment into it to be able to achieve a particular operation. Excavator, they can remove the bucket of an excavator and put a telehandler fork. They can put a telehandler fork to the bucket of an excavator. And once they bring it to a workplace, if the person is not aware of how it was designed, he will be thinking it's a type of excavator. It is not a type of excavator. They remove one attachment and added another attachment. It's like, for example, of a forklift. In the forklift, we have the one with forks, we have the one with grabs that they use to carry circular objects. It's still the same forklift. They can just remove the fork, which is the attachment, and put a grabber on it. And we also have different types of grabber. We have the circular, the triangular, and the rectangular. So that is just it. But if they bring it to a workplace as they are mobilizing it, you may think that it's a type of excavator. Of course, they have removed the attachment and they have added another attachment.
Okay. I think that is all. Now, the person who mentioned that also said the bucket has an eye for this link to hook.
The bucket has what?
Has an eye for this link to hook. That is to attach the sling.
Yeah, Mr. Oli, can I come in?
Okay, please go ahead.
Mr. Joe, please come in because I want it to be clarified so that other
people... Sure. Exactly. Yeah, so joining you from Ghana.
Okay, thanks so much, Mr.
Yeah,
Joel.
currently with INZAC Germany. Yeah, with the excavator, I think you are, I mean, saying this categorically that excavators, cannot be used for lifting. I think with the few on sites that I've seen, the operator can, tilt the bucket inwardly fully, and then we have an eye just welded at the backside of the bucket. That is where you can put your shackles and your slings to do, some basic lifting, if need be, on site. So, that's the point I'm just trying to put across.
Okay.
You only have to know
Now,
the safe working load. It is stated on the excavator. The safe working load is pasted on the excavator, and you know that you can, use
thanks so much.
this tonnage,
Thanks so much,
yeah, so
Mr.
that's what I
Joel.
was saying.
Oh, thanks so much. Now I get the question very well now. Yes, you're actually very right. And I will also mention to you here, it is because they use that one in the absence of the equipment they're supposed to use. If we have to go by standard that every equipment required in workplaces to be mobilized is a whole lot of money. So sometimes they use a synthetic belt or a wire rope, which is a sling, to get material and use the excavator to move it from one place to another. Yes, that is right. I think that is what you are trying to clarify. Yes, they do that as well, based on risk assessment. But the disadvantage and the safety factor to be considered on it, in case the sling remove from the teeth of the bucket, the load is going to fall down and they will lead to an accident. You agree that with me? But so
yeah, can I come again?
I've seen that operation before. The operator will now ensure that they put the bucket to make it face the direction of the control cabin to secure the sling from falling from the teeth. I think I've seen that.
Yeah, I'm coming. Can I come in again?
Please,
okay,
Mr. Joel. Mr. Fujo.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
We don't use the slings on the teeth of the bucket. That's an unsafe act.
Okay.
So as I'm saying that probably maybe you can Google and see behind the bucket there is an eye. That is where you place your shackle, and then you attach your sling.
Mr. Joel, please, can you wait a bit? Please,
yeah.
Mr. Joel.
Yeah, Wali. Yeah, Wali.
Mr. Fujo, please look at the screen. Look at the screen. I'm sharing something with you on the screen now.
Okay.
Can you see what I'm sharing on the screen, Mr. Fujo?
I'm yet to see it. Let me try to enlarge my. It's not coming up. Okay, I've seen it. Yes, I've seen it.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Sure, very well.
Yeah. So this is what Mr. Joel is talking about.
Oh,
yes,
okay. Now I will clarify, Mr. Joel. This is actually being done in the absence of a crane. This operation is meant for a crane operations. All right. But just because it is the absence of a crane, the conditions of bringing a crane to come and do this job, since this excavator is available, that's why they make that provision for that. And provided the risk assessment covers that, with the accessories they are going to use on the site and the trained person that are actually around the work, then it is good to go. It is good to go. This can fly. This can fly.
Very well.
Okay.
Thank you.
But I can also clarify to you that if you go to some workplaces, they will not accept this at all because they want to be sure that it is crane.
All right. Also,
okay.
So, Mr. Please, can you hear me, please? Can anyone hear me?
I'm hearing you, sir.
All right. So, to add to that, so that there'll be clarification, because we have a number of persons here, and we have people that will be watching, and that was why. Thank you for Mr. Femi for sending this particular picture, so that people will not misunderstand it. This, you can see that there is an eye in this bucket, so it is specifically designed for this purpose. And if you look at this particular equipment, it has like an hydraulic by the side, which supports the lifting operation. But now using what's it called? Ordinary excavator, using the teeth. Because when you said the eye, I initially thought it was the teeth you were talking about, but this has been clarified now. Using the teeth of the bucket as a means to to apply your sling to do lifting, it will be very wrong, because the way lifting operation is done, the pieces behind it is that it's always in opposite direction, unlike excavator. Because if you are excavating, it is being applied towards the equipment. So the kind of design that an excavator have will be different from the kind of design that a lifting equipment we have. But this specifically has been designed for the two purposes. That is why you can see the hydraulic system by the side, if you look at the body of the equipment, and also the hydraulic system at the top of the bucket. So this is specifically designed for this purpose. But another ordinary lifting operation, so ordinary excavator cannot do this kind of job. I just want to clarify that for better understanding. All right.
Thanks so
I
much.
think
You're actually right. It is.
Please, I'd like to respond as well, Mr. Walu. Please, kindly.
Okay, please go ahead.
Go ahead, Mr. Okafor. Mr. Okafor, we can't hear you again.
Okay, sorry. Can you hear me now? Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you now.
I want to also point out to Mr. Sheung and every other person that in as much as this eye to attach a shackle is present, and as it were, you can use this thing for little lifting, we should ensure that the safe working load is not exceeded. I think if this equipment have a load chart on the screen inside, we should also ensure that it doesn't carry beyond the load, and then the angle is right. Because if you use it to do normal lifting, it will be a problem. Mind you, we've seen cases where the bucket itself on hooks at height like this and falls. So we wouldn't want that to also happen where we are working. So please, let's also note that. Ensure that you have checked your load chart from the display and that you don't exceed the load per time when you're carrying out. And it is minimum load, not heavy loads, I suppose. Thank you so much.
So can I also add something? Mr. Walu, can I add something? Am I being heard?
Go ahead.
Yes, please go ahead, Mr. Christopher. Go ahead, please.
Oh, there's a Sheung on the line.
Please go ahead. Thank you.
Okay, so I also just want to corroborate what the last person said. Particularly, the cranes designed for this purpose, they actually have a kind of their own load chart. They have their own load chart and their own load moment indicators as well. And it's also required that they also go through some functional tests, okay, including checking of the lifting height, the hydraulic system, and all that, including the color coding that is required for other lifting accessories and lifting heights. It's also required. Are you somebody speaking? So they also go through all those processes. And like you also mentioned, they are basically for all these little lifts within the sites that you cannot, you want to lift something of, let's say, 100 kilogram, you want to have to bring, you need to have to bring a 30-ton crane and all that. So they are designed for all those little lifts within the site, not for heavy operations. Thank you, sir.
All right, thanks so much, Mr. Sheung. Thanks so much, Mr. Joel from Ghana. You all made clarifications, and like I said, it's still buttressed to what Sheung said. Now that in the absence of a crane, and I mentioned earlier that if you have to go by the standard that every equipment needed in a particular workplace, especially for construction, should be mobilized, then it's a whole lot of money. So that is why they always look at risk factors and they put control measures in place so as to be able to mitigate the cost minimization and ensure the work still goes better. So this is acceptable for many for just small lifting operations as well, and everything will be fine. So thank you so much, comrade, for these sections. We appreciate you from the start to this moment. I think we have spent longer than planned. This is what I can see. This is 6:29. So we will still be having its second section of this discussion, which is going to be edition 2 of lifting operations and construction safety and heavy duty equipment. I think we have gained 1 or 2 things added to our knowledge, and we'll continue to learn and learn and learn. Thanks so much, ladies and gentlemen. Again, I appreciate your time. I appreciate you so much, and I say thanks for now, and we'll talk more later on.
Can you hear me?
Hey, sir.
Mr. Funsho, are you here? Can you hear me? So I'm back online now to close the session, so that I know that you are a very busy man and you have things to do now. So I want to give you the permission that thank you so much for the time you have spent for us. Can you hear me, Mr. Funsho?
I'm hearing you. Please go ahead. Thanks so much.
Thank you so much for your time. We really appreciate you. We know we still have in the second section, which you are going to dissect further. I know you are a very busy man, so we'll give you the permission that you can actually go and carry out your other activities. Thank you for deciding to use this time for us. You might have well used the time for other things, but you have chosen to be with us and to educate us today. We really appreciate you. Thank you so much. We really appreciate it. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, sir. So before we go to the end of the session, let us remember that we are having our ISO lead auditor course. We've done the first one, which was last week. We had 10 delegates for the ISO 45001, and it was a wonderful session. So next week, we are having integrated management system. We have decided to make it, at this point in time, a very a discounted price for us to be able to benefit. The certification is being accredited by QMSAI, a registered body in Africa and in the world at large, and the certificate is internationally recognized. That is for QMSAI. They are into auditing and also majorly certification body for individuals who wants to gain competency and certification when it comes to ISO, that is International Organization for Standardization. So we are currently having integrated management system lead auditor course, which is happening next week, and it is at a very discounted price. If you are interested, please do let us know. You can chat us up to get more details about the course. You can chat us up on this number that we have here, 45497332. Yes. The last one that we did was very successful, and we believe that this will be much more successful. So join us and benefit from this opportunity, not only about certification, but to go through the training. We are going to train you through many processes, including the audit process itself, that is ISO 19011, where we go through the integrated management system course. So if you are interested, please start us up on WhatsApp and let us register you. Thank you, everyone, for your time. Thank you for being a part of us. The integrated management system is only for 350,000 naira only for those that are in Nigeria. And for those that are outside Nigeria, it's just $500 only. So benefit from this opportunity and be a certified, not only certified, competent ISO integrated management system lead auditor. Thank you so much, everyone. Thank you for being a part of this series 59. Hopefully next week we'll be having series 60. Series 60 will be happening next week Sunday, by God's grace, where we'll be having a much more understanding about audit management system. That is ISO 19011, which is a guideline to follow during audit process. So it will be a very important, a very wonderful session, I promise you. Most people don't know this. Even those that have done the three ISOs, that have done ISOs, they don't know, they are not being trained about the ISO 19011 as part of what they should go through. That is the audit management system, what you need to know, the process of carrying out audits. So this is what we're going to talk about next week on Sunday, and I'll be handling that session in preparation for our class, for the IMS class that will be happening next week, Monday. Not this Monday, but next week, Monday. So if you want to register for the class, and for the IMS, you'll be getting the 3 certifications. That is, you'll be getting certification for 9001, for 5001, and 14001. So please, if you're interested, once again, chat us up on WhatsApp and let us register you ahead of the class. Once again, the number is 070-4549-7332. Thank you, everyone, for being a part of this story. Thank you for coming. Mr. Ezekiel Adeniyi, Mr. Daniel, Mr. Silvanum, Mr. Ismail, Mr. Femi, Mr. Joel, Mr. Christopher Inyang, Mr. Sylvester, Engineer Shamsuddin, always here with us at all time. Mr. Samson Oyeleye, Rangarira, which country are you joining us from? I'm seeing this name for the first time. For the first time joining us. Mr. Rangarira, are you there? Are you there? I think maybe he's shy or something. All right, everyone, thank you so much for being a part of here, Mr. Seth, Mr. Gabriel. We really appreciate you. We hope Mr. Tony, we hope to see Mr. Alabi Ade, we hope to see you, Mr. Timothy, we hope to see you, Mr. Gabriel, Mr. Seth. We hope to see you next week on another wonderful edition.
Thank you.
On another wonderful edition. Mr. Timothy, you are at work on Sunday. You will not rest. Don't be calling over time. Well done, sir.
I have an assignment to complete today. So I decided to complete.
Well done. Well done. Well done. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, and God bless you. Mr. Okoye, thank you. Mrs. Oni Fade from Layo, always here with us. Mr. Olumide Ahi, thank you, everyone. See you. Mr. Bright, always here with us. Mr. Kingsley, always here with us. Thank you so much. See you all again next week, Sunday. And that Sunday will be very, very powerful because we'll be talking about ISO 19011. That is the guideline for audit management system. And we might decide to go to auditing clause by clause. Any one of them we might choose. We have the materials already. We just extract it from our main material for our lead auditor, for our ISO auditor class, and we use it to train you for free. So if you are interested in registering our course, we've already sent the number. It is very important. That is a discounted price. By the next batch, the price will be going to 450,000 naira for the integrated management system. So, and it will be a combination of 9,001, 14,001, and 45001. So grab this opportunity now and be a part of this section. Thank you, and God bless you. Enjoy the rest of the day. Bye.